Okay, speaking of pages and page turns, actually using the page turn itself as a way to grab the audience's attention and bring them into your performance. There's so many different things you can do that are highly effective. And I understand that the prose and poetry binder, it's not supposed to be used as a prop per se, but there's little things you can do that you can get away with. At least I could in my district. I don't know how strict other people are, other leagues are, but there's things you can do to utilize your prose binder itself, the way you hold it, the way you flip your pages, all these little things that help enhance the performance. So I'm going to show you a couple of these tricks. So back to page turns. When you're turning a page, you want to make sure it's like nice and elegant, that it's not all clumsy and you're trying to find, a nice grip and you're turning it and it looks very awkward. You want to practice these in rehearsal and stuff so they look very smooth and almost sort of negligible, that you hardly even notice them until the moment that you want people to. For instance, if I'm reading a section in here and I want to have a moment where my character's pondering something or something so horrific happens that I just need to stop and I have this shocking realization or whatever, you could use your page turn as an effective way to get a pause. So I could be looking out at the audience, with a frightful face, all scared, not quite like that, but you get the idea. And you could do a very slow page turn. And it's a great way to get suspense. It's a great way to get, to build this tension. So let me do that again. Just something as simple as doing something, a very slow turn. It's a very small detail, but it works. Something else you can do is if there's a moment where you could either be reading while you do this, you could be taking a breather while you're doing this as well. If you want to move very quickly, something else you could do with a page turn instead of just, doing your basic flip, you can do something like that. And you could either flip it and continue with your reading, or you can flip it and there's a shocker, you need a pause there, and then dive into what's on the page. So there's little things that you can do with the page turns itself to, reel in your audience and build suspense. Something else that you want to think about is what you're doing with the binder itself. So when you're holding it, make sure that you have a comfortable grip on your binder, something that allows you to have a full range of motion. I usually wear my binder like this. It's a nice solid grip. I'm not going to lose it. I kind of cradle it. It's like my little child. I cradle my little binder very lovingly so I can move it around and do lots of different things. I can close it, open it. It's not going anywhere. But things you can do is if you want to have an energetic moment, don't be afraid to move your binder away from your body. I've seen a lot of performers who keep it tight, and their one hand will be going all over the place and doing all this crazy stuff, and their binder will just stay here. And it looks very odd. Your arm moves. Take advantage of that. If there's an exciting moment and you don't necessarily have to be looking at the page, because you're performing out to the audience, not necessarily a reading moment, move it away. Use that space. The left side of you is not dead. Use it. Something else you can do with your binder, if you're having a very intense moment and you need to pull in towards yourself, don't be afraid to put your binder against you. You can do that. Okay, I don't know. Can you guys see? Pull it in towards you. Cradle it. Change the way your hand, your gesturing hand holds the binder. Normally when I'm reading, I hold it down like this, just at the side, because I think it looks very elegant. Let me get into a better position so you can see. I hold it like this. It looks very elegant. Other times, if I'm cradling it, I might put my hand on top. Kind of gives it a nice motherly feel. I've done this when I've done pieces where I'm a mom. Do something like that. But I always have this hand at the ready, and I'm always good to go with moving my binder around. Something else when you're talking about binders. When you're doing an introduction to your piece, or when you first start to perform, you want to make sure you have your audience's attention. Hold your binder with your finger on the page you're performing at, so it's at the ready. And you're going to want to stand there, nice, professional, look confident, look a little professional, get control of your audience, and you're going to flip. That was a little exaggerated. It wasn't as smooth as it should have been, but just to kind of show you the motions of things you should be doing. You want to put your binder down, flip it open, put your hand in place. It's very smooth, it's very elegant. Closing, grab your binder, just flip it closed, and you're good to go. If you're doing an introduction, I tend to try to put my introductions on the second page. So I usually flip my page over, the top one that I just finished reading, grab my binder, close, and in. You're going to want to practice this so it's one fluid motion and very, very pretty, something that's nice to look at. So I know I keep repeating this and showing it to you, and I'm kind of out of form because I haven't really competed on the circuit for a while, but I still kind of have it, still kind of got it. But practice this. Make sure, look in the mirror, make sure you're doing it correctly. Something else to keep in mind with your binder, make sure that when you're presenting it, when you're performing, never put it up in front of your face. This is not cool. You're not trying to hide from your audience. Make sure that you're clearly seen by everybody. Keep your binder at a nice, 45-degree angle tilt. It looks very pretty, and having your binder flat like this is hideous, basically. It's ugly. I know it's prose and poetry reading, but just because you're supposed to give the appearance that you're reading doesn't mean the book has to look like this. We want to look pretty when we do things like that, when we're doing our performance and our presentation, because that's what it is. It's a presentation. So present properly, Make it look nice. And aesthetically pleasing is the way to go here. I don't really have anything else to add here, but these are just some tips and some tricks that I learned from when I was doing prose. Obviously there's more to it than that, but these are just some things that I think will give you a slight competitive edge. Experiment with your binder. Look at the piece that you have. What are some things that you can come up with to help use your binder in a way to enhance what you're doing? You need to plan everything out. If there's some odd cutting going on, like I said with the pages, and you're doing a page turn when it's really inappropriate, you'll get marked. You'll get a comment about it. I guarantee it. So everything about your binder, its appearance, what you have inside of it, how your pages are marked, what color your pages are, how you hold your binder, how you move it around, how you flip the pages, all of that. You might not get that many comments about it until the moment when you either do something incredibly dumb or just ridiculous, and you might not even notice you're doing it, but until you do one of these or one of these, you'll get a mark for that. Or unless you're doing something really superb, like I've had people give me marks on how well I've opened my binder. It's really silly, but it is something that could make or break you. If it's a toss-up between you and someone else, how you work your binder can, either give you that higher ranking. You don't know. So I hope this video was helpful to all of you. I hope you learned something. If there's anything you want to add, put a little comment with this video. Enrich everybody. Any tips you have, post. So thank you very much for watching my video. Bye!